All right, what's up, everyone? You are watching or listening to Candid Concepts. This is actually season one, episode one. So if you're watching it from YouTube or if you're listening from my podcast, I'm here with my first guest of the year, 2021, Lonnie G. What's up, man? How you doing?
Good. How y'all guys doing?
Yeah,
Feeling pretty good
so
today, man. Feeling pretty good.
yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. I mean, I feel like that's also nothing new for you too. For those of you who don't know, Lonnie is a vegan chef. I actually profiled him last year, I think, maybe even the year
Yeah, it was
before.
like I think it was like around August, September. Yeah, that's when we
Yeah,
had last when you profiled me.
yeah. I remember that when I profiled you, like it was just a big epiphany. You had thought that you were an INFJ at first. And
Right.
then we started like, to really dig into stuff. You also thought that you were a two, and then we found out that you're actually an
Yeah,
ENFJ,
agreed.
Enneagram three. You've done a lot of work on your TI as well, based off of your background and history, which we're definitely going to get to at the end of
Right.
like maybe like toward the end of the podcast and everything. But first and foremost, for all of y'all listening, like I said, Lonnie is a business owner. He is a vegan, and not only a vegan, but he's a vegan chef. And today we're going to talk a lot about veganism, his business, where y'all could be able to contact him at. And then toward the end of that, we're going to start getting into some more concepts about things that Lonnie doesn't really get to talk about that often. And so if y'all want to stick
Thanks.
around for stuff like that, then definitely go ahead and do that. But first things first, Lonnie, you're a vegan. Let's pretend I don't even know what that means.
Right.
What is a vegan and how did you get into veganism?
So basically, vegan basically means that you abstain from eating animal-based products. So that's dairy, milk, cheese, yogurt, ice cream. That's meat products. Chicken, pork,
All the
fish,
stuff that
all of that
tastes
stuff.
good,
Right.
right?
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, that's basically in a nutshell what vegan is. Now you also have it too, like, it gets kind of, I guess you would say, political in ways where, people are like against people harming the animals and stuff like that, like PETA and stuff like that. They basically are
Mm.
really big about like protecting the animals and all that stuff. So basically that's what vegan at its core definition means, that you abstain from any type of animal byproducts. So how
Mm.
I got into it was back in 2017. I remember, it's so crazy. I'll never forget this day. I was at the library, right? And I was just looking through different books and I found this book and on the title, it said why meat is killing us and what we could do about it. It was something like that. And it
Mm.
was in big red color. And I was like, yo, what is this book? Like, I got to check it out. So I'm, flipping through the pages. I'm like, all right, I'm going to check it out and read it. So long story short, before I read the book, I knew like, yo, I'm not going to eat meat after I read this book. Like I just already felt it. Like my intuition knew like this is going to change your life.
What's
I
funny is
didn't even
that
know it was going to change my life, but it
what's
really
funny is
like
that I'm
shook
like
me.
listening to you right now. Like not
Yeah.
to interrupt, I just want to throw this out here. Like I'm listening to you right now. I'm like, do I want to know this information? Because I'm a carnivore. So it's like, but you know what? I'm gonna
Well,
just swallow it. Like, go
it's going
ahead,
to
keep
plant that
going.
seed. It's going to plant that seed. So yeah, I read the book, and basically the book is by Dr. Garth Davis. It's called Proteinaholic, and basically it just breaks down like why meat and dairy products is not good for us. It just broke down a lot of different things about nutrition, what we've been taught, how like the pharmaceutical industries and the medical industries and the food industry, they all interconnected, they all play a role. It just really opened my eyes to a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? They talked about how like meat and dairy products cause cancer and diabetes, all types of stuff. So as somebody who grew up eating meat, I was not vegan my whole life. My family's from the Caribbean, my mom's Jamaican. Like, they throw
Hey,
down curry chicken and
hey,
rice. Like, you know what I'm saying?
dang.
So I grew up eating all the regular stuff that everybody ate, wings, pizza, everything, the whole nine. So that was a big shocker for me. Like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I can't, like, you have that sense of cognitive dissonance where it's like, it's two different beliefs, it's two different like streams of information, what you've been raised on and then what you're learning new. So I had to make a decision. I was like, okay, well, now that you know what you know, what are you going to do about it? And then I remember I watched a documentary too. It's called What the Health on Netflix. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if you ever heard of it. Some people have seen it, but What the Health basically did the same thing that the book did, but in like, like in a documentary format. So basically they broke down like, meat and dairy products and all that different stuff, why it's not good for us. So after reading that book and watching that film, I was like, all right, I got to make a decision, because I'm not the super, like, I was never super health conscious, but I always felt like it was important to take care of yourself. Even when I did used to eat meat and dairy, I used to still make sure, like, I would like cook my own food, eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. I didn't even really like eating a lot of meat growing up personally. My parents could tell you that. But I always just knew like the importance of health in some sense of format, you know, exercising, you know, whether it's playing basketball or whatever, going to the gym. Like I always knew that was important. So I had to make a decision like, yo, I can't, now that I know this information, I can't just sit here and not do anything about it. You know, it can't just be head knowledge. Like, you know how this stuff happens. You know what I'm saying? I have family members that have diabetes, have had strokes, that have, you know, they taken like 10, 12 medications just to stay alive. And I'm like, when I'm 60, I'm still trying to be on the court. Like, I'm still trying to be hooping, you know what I'm saying? Like with the young kids. So I'm like, I got to make a decision. Like, I can't continue to eat like this. I can't continue to live like this. So I remember I made the decision. I just went like cold turkey. I was like, all right, no more meat, no more dairy, no more burgers. I remember I had my last burger from work. I used to work at this grocery store. And I remember like, yo, this is going to be my last burger. And it felt so weird because I'm like, I'm really eating this for the last time. And then that was like the last time I ate meat. And then I remember, no, that wasn't the last time. The second time was by accident. I was a week in and my mom made spaghetti. My mom made spaghetti and I'm like, oh yeah, spaghetti. I didn't even know she put ground turkey in it. I'm like, damn, like I got all over. So that was a setback. But ever since 2017, I haven't eaten meat again. I did slip up occasionally here and there because sometimes some products have cheese in it or milk and you wouldn't even know unless you read it. That's why I had to learn how to read the labels. Mm-hmm. But since 2017, yeah, I have been vegan. I haven't eaten no like animal products at all, no meat products, no nothing. And I see the big difference. Like mentally, my mind is more sharper. I don't feel sluggish after I eat. You know how you eat a big meal? You just feel tired. You don't feel like doing nothing. You just want to lay up and watch Netflix. That doesn't happen to me anymore. Like I can eat a meal and I feel good. Like, oh, I can go run a mile or something. And, you know, I could go do something. Like I have more energy. I haven't gotten sick literally in about 3-4 years. Like my immune system is way stronger. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember I used to have bad allergies. Like when the pollen would come outside, I used to be sneezing and I don't have allergies no more. It went away naturally. So I'm like, this is what I tell people, you know, when I teach them about this or I talk to them about this, because a lot of people ask me this question all the time. Keep in mind too, it wasn't easy for me doing this because I was the only one in my family. Like, you know, growing up, I used to cook a lot of the food in the house. So, you know, my family members, they was cool. Like, oh yeah, Lonnie made this. Okay, we'll eat it. So when I made the switch, I started putting them on game and started showing them like, okay, you know, this is how I'm eating now. And they're like, okay, we like it, you know? So it wasn't always easy, but I knew like it was going to pay off in the long run. And I'm actually really glad like I made that decision because honestly, that decision really changed my life. Like that was a very big life-changing decision, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I was just so conditioned for so long to do something for a certain way. So that in itself made me realize it's not even about the food or the physical aspect. It's the mental, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like going to the gym. Them first couple of weeks is hard because you're mentally not wired to be in that mentality of like, okay, I'm gonna get up, go to the gym, work out. You know what I'm saying? You got to build that habit. So it was the same thing with changing my diet. I tell people all the time, it's like, it's a habit. You do something long enough, it's just going to feel normal. It's the same with eating meat and dairy. You go to American Deli and get a 10-piece with wings and fries because it's just what you know. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just what you know. So it's just like about changing your mentality and your approach to it. So that was basically what I was explaining about, you know, veganism and how I got started. I know that's a long-winded answer, but yeah.
No, that was perfect, to be honest. Like, and I respect that. I mean, I always kind of tell people that cold turkey is a meal that you should only have once. So in your case, though, you had ground turkey, but, you know, that was the last time that you had it. But for real, though, that's what's up. And I can tell that it was definitely like a big change because like I told you, like I'm a whole carnivore. Like for real, like all I probably eat is meat and bread and stuff like that. Like, so I don't. Man, yeah, like the pasta, all of that. So I don't really be I don't even really eat too much fruit, vegetables and stuff like that. Like I mean, I like drink juice and all of that, but yeah, like I used to actually even like pick out the vegetables from my cup of noodles.
Oh
like
man,
So that's the type of dude that I was. I still
Word.
feel healthy though, but I mean, what you're saying, I'm not gonna front like I am like, okay. So I got questions. But all of the stuff that you've been saying too, like, just like how like stuff gives you cancer and, like
I
diabetes
honestly
and
could
this.
not believe it. I'm telling you, I was really sitting there reading that book like, yo, this is not real. Like, he's lying. Like, I didn't feel like it was real. I'm like, yo, you telling me I've been lied to my whole life? Like,
Mm,
nah, this is
mm.
not. It's like when people find out like Santa Claus isn't real or whatever. It's like you feel crushed. Your soul feels like, yo, like this is crazy. Like, nah, they lied to us. So that was kind of that was a very tough realization for me too. I was like, yo, this is crazy because you just so used to what you already know. You know what I'm saying? It definitely takes a level of open-mindedness. And I always say this too. I always respect people that, they give it a shot and they say, okay,
Mm,
well, then it's not for me. Because my thing is, and I think this is the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the stigma around veganism is like
mm,
people are trying to force it on people's throats and they're trying to shame people. Oh, you eat meat. Nah, 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 nah.
mm,
Like, you can't do that. That's what I had to learn. Cause I was like that. I'm like, y'all eat meat, y'all are this, that, and the third. Cause people was talking stuff about me. People was
mm.
making jokes about me when I went out to eat. Oh, what you gonna eat? Grass? You gonna eat a salad? I heard every joke in the book. But and
Yeah.
some vegans, they let that, make them jaded and they feel like, oh, well, it's just me against the world. No, it's not. That's what I had to learn. Like, I just encourage people to eat more fruits and vegetables and whole foods and do what works for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
Some
for
people, some
sure.
people, some people for whatever reason may not switch to being vegan. That's not for me to judge. You know what I'm saying? That's
For
on
sure.
them. But at the same time, when you learn certain information and you see the facts, it's like, okay, I can't really deny this. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's like my input on that because a lot of people are very judgmental about like. I still got friends that are not vegan. I still have regular family members that don't eat like me. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like the best way to open somebody's mind to something is not to try to shame them into doing it. It's
Hmm.
just give them the information and then let them decide on themselves for themselves.
For sure. I totally agree with that. Just like you were kind of saying, like, you plant the seed in a way. And even then,
Right.
a lot of times, like, that's up to them actually to water that seed themselves. You're not even secretly planting it. You're offering it to them. Like, yo,
Right.
here it is. If you want to like have a plant-based life, like here's a seed. Like this is all the reasons why I think that you should start watering this seed. If you need help watering it, then go ahead. Stuff like that. So no, I feel you. Like I said, I have a few questions, but I will also comment and say, like, again, like I respect you for that decision that you made. Like I know for me, one of the things that I did stop like years ago, and then
Yeah.
I started working as a server and it picked back up again. But now I'm trying to like get right back into stopping. It was like I actually stopped drinking soda for like over 3 years. And because
Right.
I was just hearing like all of this stuff, like, oh yeah, like it's bad for you, and just all the sugar and like scariest thing honestly was like I have abs, like full six pack and everything, and I'm
That's
like
crazy.
yeah, and I'm like I do not want to lose that, and I kept on hearing like yeah that stuff will get rid of it
Yeah.
real quick. And I'm like, oh, well, I've been lucky this far. I don't want to, like lose that. I still got him, but like, now I got to make sure that I don't lose him. So soda, once again, is like something I'm trying to like kick back out of my system. Like it came back, it snuck back in like after like 3 years. And again, it was because I was like, I worked at Buffalo Wild Wings and now I'm working at this oven brick pizza place downtown, fancy restaurant. But, I'm by the soda machine, you get thirsty, you get tired of drinking sweet tea all the time, sometimes it's just regular water.
Right.
So I wanted to ask you, based off of that, do you still get tempted to eat meat? Like,
Mm, that's a good question. I mean, honestly,
because I know
nah.
like for
Like,
me, when I stopped the soda thing, like I did get tempted to drink soda again,
yeah.
eventually. But then when I drank it, it made me like I remember like the first couple of times or so, like I couldn't even finish like a kid's cup of soda. I was just like, yo, like it just makes me feel weird. And I think that like, I'm assuming like that's kind of like what happens with your body. You stop eating meat for so long that like all of a sudden it's like your body won't even crave it or even want it no more.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. Like at first it was hard because it would be times that I used to go places. Let's say I go to an event. I go to an event or a party or something, and they got, they got wings, or they got, like chicken or like jerk chicken or something, like something that's smelling good. And it's like, in the beginning, it was hard because I'm like, yo, like I used to love a 10-piece lemon pepper. Like I can't eat that no more. I used to love me some shrimp Alfredo. I can't eat that no more. Like it was definitely a little rough in the beginning, but that's what made me like, because I was already in school for culinary arts in 2017. So I was learning like different things already. So when I made the switch to go vegan, I knew like immediately, like I'm gonna have to learn how to cook for real. I'm gonna have to really get creative in the kitchen and come up with stuff, because I can't just be dependent on like going out to eat or like, you know what I'm saying? Like my cooking skills have really evolved a lot since making that switch. I don't even know if it would have gotten as good if I didn't go vegan. But that's what kind of helped me in the beginning, because then I started coming up with my own recipes and figuring out different meat substitutes. I'm like, all right, I don't necessarily have to worry about craving. Because think about it. What I realized is that when you eat meat, you really don't eat meat for the taste of meat. You eat meat because of the seasoning and the texture. Think about it. You're not going to eat meat that doesn't have seasoning on it.
Oh yeah, that's, I mean, unless if you're
even if it's cooked, you make some roasted chicken or whatever. You're not gonna eat that chicken without seasoning on it. You're gonna put some type of sauce. You're gonna put some type of salt, pepper. You know what I'm saying? Adobo, whatever you use, you're gonna put something on there to make it taste palatable. So that's what I realized. That was the unlock. Like, oh, I don't really crave meat. I crave the seasoning and the texture. So then once you can find things that replicate that same thing, then it's like, what's the difference? So in short, no, I do not crave meat anymore. I honestly, the smell makes my stomach hurt. I can't even smell bacon. Like, yo, it'd be crazy. I'm like, I used to eat bacon like crazy. Like I used to love eating that stuff. Sausage, my stomach be hurting now when I smell it. I'm like, if I would have eat that, yo, I would probably vomit. I'd probably be sick for real. If I ate meat again, I'd probably be sick.
So then I have a question based off of that. So is it that you got healthier and that's why you're able to now not be able to stomach it? Or one could probably argue that because I'd be able to smell sausage and eat bacon and all of that, and it doesn't affect me in that type of way. What does that then say about me? Like someone who's listening, like, oh, like I don't want my body to then like, like you're saying that now you're healthier and everything, but like, now your body can't take this. So what do you think about that?
It's conditioning, because your body is literally conditioned a certain way. You've been eating that stuff for years on years on years on years on years. Right. So your brain is like, oh yeah, give me that. You know what I'm saying? It's a natural inclination. When you stop doing it, it's like, and I relate to you about the soda thing too, because I learned that about soda. I used to be on Dr. Pepper and Sprite, like heavy. Like I used to drink that so much. Then I used to have bad acne and bumps on my face. I'm like, yo, I gotta stop drinking soda. So then I started drinking more water and like juice. Trying to drink juice too much, but getting off topic. But what was I saying? Talking about meat. Yeah. So I would say I got healthier, but at the same time, you literally condition your body a certain way just based off how you treat it. If you wake up and you do, let's say 10 push-ups every single morning, the first couple of days is going to be hard if you don't do push-ups regularly, because your body's going to be like, yo, this is new. What are you doing? But within like a month of you doing 10 push-ups every single day, your body's it's going to feel normal. Then you can start doing 20 push-ups. It's not going to feel like anything. I think it's the same thing with meat, to be honest. Like if I was to probably eat it again, my body would be like, yo, what's going on? Like, why are you putting this inside of me? Like, I haven't eaten this in forever. It's the same thing with soda. If you were to start drinking soda again, you probably would break out or something and get some pimples on your face because of sugar.
So then, all right. So if I'm picking up what you're putting down properly, what you're saying is that like your body is not, both your body and my body would be affected in the same way by the meat. It's just that my body is not responding to it because I'm conditioned to it. Whereas for you, your body would respond in a negative way not because it is less capable than my body, but more so as
Right.
a maybe like a defense mechanism of some sort, like to try to like
Right.
keep you from
It's almost
getting
like
back
your
into
immune
that.
system. It's almost like your immune system would like, and don't quote me, like I'm not a health expert. Like because when I start talking about this stuff, you know, people would be like, oh, no. Like I'm not a doctor, not a health expert. Put that disclaimer out there because I don't need that pressure. You always do your own research. But
Yeah,
from what I
absolutely.
know, personally, I would definitely say it's just conditioning. Because it's just you've been conditioned for so long to eat a certain way. It's just like when you fast, people would like take time from fasting and stuff. Your body, you be craving, you be having them cravings. You go a whole day without eating, you're gonna be your stomach's gonna be like hitting you, like, yo, what's up? I didn't eat all day. You're gonna get a headache. You know what I'm saying? But then like day 2, day 3 of you fasting and eating less food, your body's gonna naturally adjust. It's crazy. It's almost like the way our bodies was created, it was like it has a mind of its own, but it works in accordance with everything. That's why they
Got
be
it.
saying it's mainly mental. It's
Mm,
mainly it's more of a mental thing because you know people talk about willpower and stuff like that, but you know
yeah,
that's basically kind of what it is in the beginning.
yeah,
But you could either give in to what you already been doing, or you could make a different choice. So yeah, I
got
would
you.
just say it's mainly conditioning.
Cool. And you would answer the question that I was gonna ask, probably like around the last question that I was gonna ask based off of this topic. Um,
Yeah.
I was wondering, like, okay, so was it that you became a chef because you became a vegan first, or were you already like pretty much a chef before you became a vegan? And so you would answer that. You said you went to culinary school, and you were
Yeah.
already in culinary school in 2017. And then you became a vegan, and that's when you all of a sudden like, yo, I gotta like really then pick up my cooking, and based off of that, that's when you like further strengthened your ability and your skill in cooking and stuff like that. So that's really cool that you already like, planning to be a chef. You're already like in kind of like the food industry and everything like that. And
Mhm.
then you became a vegan. And so that just further made you want to enhance your vegan food. And I feel like that's something that probably helps a lot with your business right now, because I'm sure that you get like really creative. You said that you got Jamaican in you and all of that. So like if somebody does like it's different if somebody hasn't really like tasted the amazing flavor of bacon and jerk chicken and all of that, but like I can trust you that you've indulged in all of that, and yet you are on the other side and you're like, yeah, I'm not even looking back. That's a testimony in and of itself. So that has me further being like, all right, so what kind of advice would you give to someone who does now want to, like start becoming a vegan and everything? Like, what are some of the tips and tricks that you use even today? Like, like I don't want you to give away like all of your secrets, because you got a business to
Word.
run and everything. But like,
Yeah.
what are some of the things like, like just little sample taste tests, like for people who might want to like purchase stuff from you, or the business like that you like the offers that you have, and even like other things too, like where do you get your protein from now? Like
That's the
I
number one
personally I
question.
know exactly. I know
Every single
that
person asks that question.
yeah, but I know there's
That's
got to
so
be people like wondering that right now. So yeah,
facts,
those are like the
facts.
three questions that I'm tossing your direction. Like
Okay,
tips
could you
for somebody who wants to
you said the
start.
first one again?
Yeah, tips that you want like that you would say to a vegan. Somebody who wants to start off with
Beginners?
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for beginners and stuff like that. And then number two, protein, and then like where like how do you get that and everything, and then number three, just like any additional like flavoring and stuff like that that you usually do to like help you out, which I guess kind of goes into number one.
Okay. I would say for beginners, honestly, man, I just think back to when I was first starting. I used to be making like rice and beans every day.
Mm,
Wow. Okay, so I would say for beginners, definitely do your research. Number one, do your research. You got to have a strong why. This is kind of with anything in life,
mhm, mhm,
but you got to have a strong why. Why are you making the switch? Because if your why is not strong enough, you're going to go
mhm,
back in 2
mhm,
weeks. You're going to be
mhm,
like, oh, yeah, telling all your friends and family, all right, y'all, I'm about to start eating vegan. I'm about to change my health. I'm about to be more conscious. And then 2-3 weeks, you're right back getting a 4 for 4 from Wendy's. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
It's you gotta have a strong why. Once you that's what I had to realize. Like, I had to kind of create like a logical reason. Like, okay, this is why I'm doing this, because I learned this information and it makes sense to me. I'm gonna stick with this. That's the first step. Figure that out. Once you got a strong why, then I would definitely say it's important to learn how to cook. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to say learn how to cook. Watch other people. You know, we got Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, all these different platforms. People are cooking. People got cooking channels. They're showing you different tips and tricks. You know what I'm saying? How to make this, how to make that, step-by-step tutorials. I would say watch other people and then start soaking up that information. And then, like, at home, go in the kitchen, find a recipe that you like. You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite recipes that I like to make is this is kind of like, I mean, I don't know a lot of people eat this, but like, it's chickpeas, right? Chickpeas, garbanzo beans. They use that a lot in like Caribbean cuisine and like also Indian cuisine. And basically it's called chickpea curry, right? So you make like a curry sauce with coconut milk, turmeric, you add your chickpeas in there, you saute it down, garlic, onions, mushrooms if you want, and you could serve it over quinoa, right? Quinoa is it's basically like a seed. It's an alternative to rice. So that was like one of my favorite meals that I figured out how to learn. And then boom, I just kept making that. And then after I got tired, I'm like, all right, I want to make something else. And I just kept practicing. So I would definitely say find people that you could watch and learn from that'll teach you. We literally have so much information through the internet. So watch other people and then start practicing at home, because then because it's going to build your confidence. That's what I had to realize. It's the confidence thing. Because when you first start, it's like, all right, you know, you kind of feel, I don't want to say you kind of feel like left out, but you kind of feel like, man, like I'm this solo person going on this journey. Everybody's over here. I'm hearing the jokes. You know, you kind of feel like, you know, you kind of got your back against the wall. So once you like figure out, okay, different recipes, you're like, oh, I can make this and I can make that. It builds your confidence level. And then you start seeing the progress. You start seeing how you feel. Take inventory of how you feel. How does your body feel? How do you mentally feel? Pay attention to that. And then this is going to build your confidence over time, and it's going to make you stick with it. Of course, you're not going to be perfect. You may slip up. You know what I'm saying? You may have a temptation. It's not saying that you need to be perfect, but those would be some tips that I would give people. Because when I first started, I kind of felt like I had to just learn everything by myself. Because literally, look at veganism now and look at it back then, it was nowhere near as big. It was just becoming I don't even want to say it's just becoming a thing, because to be honest, in America, it's becoming a thing. People around the world have eaten a lot of primarily vegetarian diets, like without meat and stuff, especially in India. I think India is like the biggest vegetarian population. They eat a lot of dairy. I mean, they eat a lot of dairy too, like milk and stuff like that, because they look at the cows as like holy or something. But they eat a lot of like vegetarian based meals, eggplant curry. You know what I'm saying? They got different, like all types of recipes that don't use meat. So, you know, eating more of a plant-based diet is not a new concept per se. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, when I was first starting, it was just it wasn't as mainstream. Now you got Impossible Burgers, you got Beyond Meat, you got all these different things that, you know, restaurants are offering now to cater to people that's vegan and plant-based. So, you know, those would just be some tips. I feel like I'm kind of getting off track. Those would be some tips that I would give people. First thing I said was what? Figure out your why.
Have a why.
Second reason, research and like just watch other people. You can watch other vegan chefs. You could go on YouTube, you know, the internet, Instagram, whatever. Then the third reason I would say, what's the third thing I said?
That one, I think you really like. I think you kind of just wrapped it off from number 2.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, I was just talking about for beginners. Okay. So those are basically the main tips for beginners. Okay, what's the second question that you asked?
So the second question I was asking about protein, like where
protein.
Do you get your
protein from? Protein. This is the biggest one that every single person I've probably met asks me about. All my friends. So where are you gonna get your protein from? Where are you gonna get your protein? Vegans don't get enough protein. I done heard almost every single argument in the book. So what I learned from reading that book, Proteinaholic, which makes sense why he called it Proteinaholic. That was the name of that book. And basically in that book, I remember him breaking it down like he said one thing that stuck with me. Most people actually eat more than enough protein, right?
Oh yeah, yep. Yeah.
Most people eat way more than enough protein because, you
Right.
know, steak, chicken, you know, beef, you know, all that stuff, it has protein, right?
Right.
So what made me change my perspective on it, he was like, think about the biggest animals in the wild. Gorillas, giraffes, they are huge. Elephants, what do they eat?
They eat
Plants.
plants.
And look how big they are. So the misconception is that why eat the animals? Why eat the animals? Cows eat grass naturally.
Yeah.
Why eat the animal when you could go to the main source? Why go to the
Wow.
middleman when you could go to the plug himself? When you could go directly to the
Dang.
source. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I learned
yeah.
that. And then I also learned too that more people actually need to eat more fiber. Meat products does not have little to any fiber in them. So it takes a longer time to digest in your body.
Right.
So, you know, that's why leafy greens, kale, spinach, green apples, oats, those are really good sources of fiber. Dates, like a lot of those are really good sources of fiber. So, and then we talk about protein, right? So when it comes to protein, there's a lot of great plant-based sources of protein, right? Chickpeas is one good place protein. Chia seeds. I don't know if you're familiar with chia seeds. Chia seeds are like these small little seeds. You ever heard of a chia pet?
Yeah.
The seeds, those are the seeds that make those things grow. Chia seeds, chickpeas. What else? There's so many. Soy, tofu. I'm not really a big soy person, but tofu is a really big source of plant-based protein. Quinoa is another one. There's a lot of plant-based sources of protein, but a lot of people have this misconception like, oh, I gotta eat meat, I gotta eat meat, I gotta eat meat. Yeah, you can get protein from eating meat as well, but why eat meat from that? Why get protein from the animal products when you could get it from the plant-based products? You know what I'm saying? Why go to the source? So that's a really big misconception that I had to learn. And it makes sense because when I used to eat like a lot, like say I ate a steak or something, I could just feel like the heaviness because meat takes a minute to break down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For
Meat
sure.
takes up to at least 10 days to break down. So
10
that
days.
food is sitting in your body and is rotting. It sounds nasty when you think about it. That food is sitting in your body, rotting away. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
legit.
And then
10
I
days.
learned this too. Yeah, you could look it up. It's roughly about 10
I
days.
knew it was a grip, but I thought like by at least 24 hours that was flushed out.
Nah, it's not 24 hours. I mean, of course, it depends on how much you eat too. But
God
I also
damn.
learned this too. When it comes to, if you look at the animal digestive system, let's take a lion, for example, right? A lion, they eat meat, right? People say, oh, well, we're carnivores or we're omnivores. We were designed to be able to eat both. Look at a lion's teeth structure, right?
Yeah.
They have sharp, like incisor-like teeth that can tear meat apart, right?
Right.
Look at our teeth. We have molars, right? What antelope or deer am I about to go hunt down with these teeth?
That's why we got forks.
Exactly. Lions, cheetahs, they have teeth designed.
Even vultures,
to do that, to eat meat raw and break it down. And then if you want to go even deeper, the digestive system is actually shorter and it has stronger acid in their stomach because it's designed to break down the meat. Humans, our digestive system is way long. Isn't the long intestine and the short intestine like almost the size of a tennis court? Didn't we learn that at school?
Yeah, I learned something like
It's
that.
long. It's extremely long. So it takes longer to break down and the stomach acid is not as strong. So it's like, if you want to go on the scientific level where we really designed to eat meat, we can eat it, of course. But if you're looking at the nature of like how we were designed physically, we're not really designed to eat meat. We're not animals. We're mammals, yes, but we're not animals. So that's just the whole protein thing. And you can research it. You can research it more, but
yeah,
really
I'm definitely looking up that 10-day thing because that's disgusting.
Look it up.
You know, people. I remember when I was younger, I used to hear about chewing gum will stay in your body for 7 years, and I definitely believed that. Yeah, I believed it for a grip, and I grew older. I was like, wait a minute, and I googled it. So I'm definitely Google the 10-day thing. But I mean, either way, everything else that you're saying, like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, especially like when you like, like I knew that, of course, like, like personally, I knew about like, how protein could be found in like plants and stuff like that. And obviously vegans are getting their protein from somewhere. But I was
Facts.
curious as to like, how that, like how they were doing that. So the way that you said that, like when you look at the like gorilla and giraffe and stuff like that, and what do they eat? And I was like, oh shoot, that's a good question because, and the fact that I know too that the body can only consume so much protein at once at least, and then everything else gets flushed out. I've been trying to like gain weight and everything too, like I've been working out and everything, and so that was one of the things when I started like taking like protein shakes at first. And one of the dudes at the shop, like he said, like, take only this amount because to be
Exactly.
honest, like if you take too much,
It can get kind
then
of dangerous.
yeah, it's just gonna get like all the rest of it's just gonna get flushed out because the body could literally only take like this much. And so I hadn't thought about it from that sense, like, oh, wait a minute. Then the plants could like, plant-based foods, could probably just give that exact amount.
Exactly.
And that makes sense. But I guess like my final question on that, and then my final question altogether will be right after that. My final question on the protein is like, so would you say that even though it's probably a better option to get your protein from plant-based things, is it just easier to get it from, eating a kangaroo, like, or chicken, stuff like that? Like,
I mean, that's
or
a
is
good
it like
question.
equally easy?
It
And if you don't
depends.
know,
It
that's cool
depends.
too.
It depends how you define easy, though, because of course, when it comes to, that's one thing I've learned too recently is about when it comes to accessibility. Some
Hmm.
people live in food deserts, so they may not be able to go to Whole Foods or whatever. But at the
Mm,
same time, there's a misconception too that people think eating vegan or plant-based is extremely expensive.
expensive. True. That's another thing. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be extremely expensive. It's just like anything else. It's budgeting, you know what I'm saying? And just knowing, you got to have a knowledge base. You have to know enough to be like, okay, I know a can of black beans is 99 cents.
Mm,
Black beans is a really good source of protein. You can
mm,
use black beans in a variety of dishes. Let me
right.
get that. You
That.
know, you could pay $20 for, I don't know, let's say a 2-3 pound steak.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Yeah.
$20, 99 cents.
Got it. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
man.
it's a when you define easy, it's like, okay, well, what do you think is easy? Easy as in like, well, I'm conditioned and this is what I know. Okay, that easy. Yeah, okay, well, I'm gonna just go buy a chicken. You know
When you
what I'm
put it
saying?
that way.
When you put it that way, you know what I'm saying? So it's just it's how you define easy, and it's like accessibility too. You know what I'm saying? When I first
Mm,
started, I wasn't making a lot of money. I'm working to being on a wealthy level, but
yeah,
I wasn't making that much bread. You know what I'm saying? At the
for
time when
sure.
I first, I mean, I was living with my parents and stuff. And, they were pretty well off and stuff, middle
Hmm.
class. But we wasn't like crazy rich. Like, oh my god, we eating like, what I'm saying, salmon every single night. Nah, like, I still had to learn how to budget and go out and like, okay, this is my list. Let's say my budget's $50. What can I get to fulfill all my needs? So just
Mm,
learning how to shop, and just that's why I say research is important, because once you start understanding and you have the information base, it makes it easier.
yeah.
Most
Yeah.
of the time it's just knowledge. Most of the time people really just don't know. So like that's why I
Yeah.
like the question that you asked. So a lot of people really don't know about like stuff like when it comes to protein and all this stuff. A lot of people just don't know. They're
Right.
just doing what they know on autopilot. So
Yeah.
that's what I would say is my answer.
That makes sense, man. Yo, thanks. I really appreciate it. Everything that you said today, like that was enlightening for me, to be honest, too. So I'm gonna definitely be
Word.
processing and reflecting on that. And speaking of, seek the knowledge, research it, all of that, learn from better cooks and stuff like that. Where can people find you? Where are you at? Tell us about your services, all of that.
Okay, cool.
Plug yourself.
So I am in Atlanta, Georgia. Um, you can follow me on the socials. I have Instagram and Twitter. Both my Instagram and Twitter is Alonzo Vibes _23. So it's basically ALONZO _23. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter. That's where you can find my chef page is in my bio. And then also too, I post a lot of my like food work on my Twitter and stuff. I also have TikTok as well. For those that's on TikTok, you can follow me on TikTok as Chef Lonnie G. What is it? SHEFLONNIE.G_23. That's my on TikTok. I also have a YouTube channel. I haven't been posting my YouTube as much, but I did want to start putting some videos on there. So it's just Lonnie Gillard, LONNIEGILLARD. That's my YouTube channel. So yeah. So for anybody that's in Atlanta, or if you're ever coming to Atlanta, I do have meal prep services. So basically, I will cook a certain amount of meals, and then I can deliver it to you, or you can pick it up. Those are starting at 10 meals for 1 week is $185, including delivery, which is extra $10. And then you can also break it down to where you do 3 meals for $85. And then I also have a cooking class every single Sunday on Zoom at 6 p.m. So it's $10 every class. And basically I'm teaching people different recipes. So, what was my last class? My last class was I taught how to make vegan chicken. Right. I use jackfruit and I use oyster mushrooms to make like vegan chicken. And I taught somebody and they joined the class with me. So those are some of my services. Wait, one more. Okay. Also, I also run a edible business. So for those that's into like cannabis and, the whole nine, you know about that, So I have an edible business. Yeah. So I have an edible business as well. It is called Lonnie Swanks, and I run it with one of my good friends out here in Atlanta. We have a website and we do ship all over. So if you just follow my Instagram or my Twitter, you'll see the link to that page in my bio. So we serve we have a variety of different products. We have chocolate chip cookies, strawberry Rice Krispies, peach cobbler cupcakes, red velvet cheesecake brownies, regular cheesecake brownies, red velvet white chocolate chip cookies.
This is for the edibles?
Yeah.
Oh shoot.
Banana bread. What else? Banana bread. What else? A lot. We have a lot of stuff. Yeah, we have a lot of stuff.
Sounds like it.
We have a lot of stuff. Oh, cinnamon rolls. Oh man, the cinnamon rolls. We have a lot of stuff. So for those who's into the if you're into edibles and stuff like that, I have a page y'all can order from the website and everything. So those are my services. I'm actually working on rolling out some more. I really want to start focusing on like a high clientele base. So doing like private chefs for like celebrities one day. J. Cole, Dreamville. I don't know, speaking to existence, but I really want to start doing things on that level because I see my talent and I see the work that I create and I see it getting better. I'm like, I could see myself like cooking for like a NBA player or something like that. I don't know, something like that could happen. So those are some other services that I'm working on rolling out. But that's pretty much it.
Dude, that's what's up. And I honestly, this is not even cap, bro. Like I believe in you. Like if y'all go check out Lonnie's page, I know that Enneagram 3s a lot of times like they get like a lot of like flack and like misconceptions and stuff like that. But if you check out my man's page, like you can honestly see like that he's not in competition with you. Like he's so focused on just elevating himself, and then on top of that, he helps elevate other people. He does not see himself in competition with you. He's not trying to like be a crab in the bucket or anything like that. He's confident in his own abilities, and he's actually like. I know that Antonia, she gave a difference between like humble and modest. She said something like humble people are the ones who be like, they be like, oh, no, I'm not all that good. When in reality, like they're like really good. But then there's modest people like, but then there's modest people who are like, yeah, no, actually, I'd like to think I am pretty good at this, that, but I'm not good at that. Just being honest with what you're good at. And I see you, Lonnie, as like one of those people, who you'll tweet about like, yo, I'm actually pretty good at rapping, or I'm pretty good at cooking. I'm pretty good at this. And you back it up, but that's not to say like, you're whack at this. I'm better than you, like,
it's not about me trying to bring other people down. I'm trying to just show people like you can be confident in yourself and you can also help other people too. It's not just about, like you said, it's not a competition. Like that's so crazy that you brought that up because that's really one of the main things I had to realize. Like, cause I kind of am competitive in a lot of ways, but it's not like a me against the world mentality. Right. I used to feel like that a lot. Now I feel like, nah, it's me and the world. Like, You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
I
That's what's up.
appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, for sure. So we are actually going to split this into two parts for those of y'all watching and listening and everything. So y'all just heard all about Lonnie's business, why you should probably go vegan in 2021, and how you can do it. We gave you a good resource right here. I'm gonna have Lonnie also send me some links and stuff, not only to his socials, but also to like maybe some of the books and stuff that he's like checked out, and I'll put it underneath in the description below. So when y'all are able to check that out, y'all can get back to me. Y'all can leave comments underneath the podcast, or you can leave comments underneath the episode on YouTube. And if anything, I'll have Lonnie like get back to y'all. Or y'all can like once again, y'all got his socials and everything. Y'all can check him out on there and just shoot him the questions like, yo, I heard you off of Candid Concepts, or I saw you off of Denzel's YouTube video. I have some questions over here. I'm deciding to go vegan. Like, can you help me with this question? If I missed something that y'all probably wanted to know, he's accessible and he's a really friendly and he's a nice guy, man. But we're gonna, like I said, split this into part two. So the second video we're about to record it. That's gonna be called the after party, where Lonnie and I start talking about like a lot of other concepts that may or may not tie into the things that we just talked about. So if y'all are trying to check that video out, then be on the lookout for that. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, everyone. And I hope you'll have a great rest of the year. Peace.
Peace.